3, 2, 1.
The following Pulpery podcast is brought to you by The Goddamn Sauce. Go to thegdsauce.com for details to order all the sauces to replace your ordinary condiments. Welcome to the Pulpery Politicscast with Brock and Ben. This podcast is where we discuss the political headlines that intrigue us and all those little jerks that enrage us. We're all fucked.
So, I'm hearing this right, that like now we have Asian countries sending ships.
China,
over,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. Into the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
I thought it was a lie for a second.
So did I.
It was like,
I was like, no, man, this isn't happening. But yeah, it is.
It's like a New Orleans street fight, you know, somebody being like, "Oh, you're there? All right, man, I'm here.
I'm over here.
What's going on? What you gonna do? What you gonna do?"
And then like 3 Saturdays later on Bourbon Street, someone gets shot.
Yeah.
And then all hell breaks loose.
Exactly. Yeah.
And since we have no house right now, able to, kind of guide things.
You mean finance?
So we're just supposed to sit back, like what the fuck is about to happen? Especially since Israel's taken it upon themselves to just murder everyone.
Well, fuck it. Let's merge the two segments.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Well, and it's
because we could talk about this the whole time.
Well, like 2 weeks ago when we first bridged this topic, and it was like, do we want to go that way? Do we? And
yeah, because I even said that.
And
I
again,
was
again, to preface it, no one's in support of Hamas on this side.
Fuck no.
But what I was worried about is
you said it,
seemingly coming true is that
the first text when this happened, like when we got the alerts and I texted you and you were like, Israel's gonna do genocide.
Yeah, in that same as I think the best context to put it in for Americans is September 11th, and I know a lot of people are not fully aware of the problems.
You mean the scorched earth that we went on?
Yeah, but so, but yeah, I mean, like this idea that all it takes, and I'm not, and I don't think anybody would sit there and say is that Israel made up the attack.
No.
Hamas attacked them.
Yep. There was a terrorist attack,
but now,
instead of 2 buildings coming down, they murdered lots of people by hand, basically.
But then the response of we're going to, flush out Hamas out of the Gaza Strip turns into we are bombing every building and
we are literally the definition of scorched earth.
And
that strip of land,
turning off all their access to outside power, and then up until 2 days ago, cutting off transit lines so that aid from the Red Cross and from
even the good
charitable
they cut all that. Look, water, electricity, food, everything. And then when you look at it on a map and you're thinking this tiny little area just got 86'd from everything.
Right. And you're now forcing a humanitarian crisis on Egypt, who, they're not at the stage of hurting. Apparently, they're totally fine with their regime. So, or at least that's what they're told to be fine with. I don't want to.
Although they have slowly and just okay, we'll open.
But it's not. Yeah, no. Egypt wanted to do that. Israel was the one that was like, no, we have to check every inch of every truck.
Really?
Yeah.
God, okay.
Now, Egypt was, they're not terribly fond of completely opening their border.
Which is why I said that
for the million plus refugees
they
that
were
are
willing to say, okay, like...
They wanted to send water, food and everything to them.
Humanitarian
so that
aid.
they didn't have to leave Gaza. And then now they're all trying to flood out of Gaza because of what Israel has said that they're going to do. So
and have done.
Yeah, and I think this is the thing that I don't feel has been said enough on American media, which is that first and foremost, you can support the Israeli people, but not support the Israeli government. Same as you can support the Palestinian people and not support Hamas or Hezbollah.
Correct.
Right.
Although they're slowly creeping in, which is getting to World War III.
But that's what terrorist organizations do, is that they initiate an event.
Right.
And exposing, and this is what we were talking about 2 weeks ago, which is what Al-Qaeda did.
Correct.
To the United States, and that they were like, look, all they want to do is take over oil drilling countries. They attack us, and then
they say, look what happened.
And then we do the justifiable position, which is go in and take out Al Qaeda in Afghanistan, who was harboring bin Laden. But then, what was it? A year and a half later, we're going in Iraq.
That proved their point.
Yeah, exactly. So
I explained it to the wife.
That's the problem with conservative governments, is that, including our own, is that they're so caught up in their chest beating and saber rattling that they don't realize the real messages that they're sending out.
Right.
Same as with Netanyahu and his war government, and that they're going, we will eliminate Hamas off the earth. First, that was the same as us saying we're going to eliminate terror.
Okay. Or
I'll let you speak now.
It's the same thing as the rednecks, white supremacists in Florida do something bad, or Ohio, and then our government nukes that state. That's basically what's happening. That's the simplest way to put it.
Yeah, imagine after Charlottesville, we carpet bombed Charlottesville.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening.
To flush out the KKK, yeah.
And I get it, terrorists are terrible, and I hope they murder every single one of them.
Yeah.
Horribly, and set them on fire and piss them out, and then set them on fire.
I was going to say,
again.
it's like take a page from the American judicial system, like the Southern Poverty Law Center or various. There's actually a good documentary on HBO about the Charlottesville incident, and
I think I've seen that.
A group of lawyers
Yep.
who cut off those groups financially.
Yes.
Some went to jail, but the main thing was to get financial restitution. And so you set the restitution so high that these so-called organizations, militias, or whatever you want to fucking call them.
Alex Jones?
Yeah, can't fucking afford. Exactly, yeah. What Sandy Hook did to Alex Jones. Yeah.
Exactly. And then the government, or not the government, sorry, that was wrong. The legal system said, you can't hide behind this.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, same thing.
And we'll take away every resource you have.
Yes.
And that's, and again, so to lead into what my thing is propaganda with the question mark, is that...
I can't believe we have to talk about this in 2023.
Well, no, but so what I'm sitting here going is that normally I'd be checking my phone on this, but because I'm watching the house shit all the time.
I'm always checking my phone because I can't watch the house shit because some of their voices make me want to jab pencils into my ears.
But right now I have the news on in my classroom 24/7 because of what's happening in the house. Because
I'm following.
Same as when January 6th happened.
Oh God, that was everywhere.
I had that on every device in my room because I can't, as a history teacher, I cannot miss this.
Same. You know what I should be treating this? first in history. No, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll get to
Again, this is one of the things of going, you cannot say this has happened before and will happen again.
Well, it will happen
subsequently,
again.
Yes, of course. Like, our children will be able to say that.
But we're able to say, God damn it.
Yeah.
I was there.
OG times, baby.
You will read about me in history.
But, so, the thing is, like, I don't know how far we want to go down into this, but, like, with, like, Biden going over to Israel, giving the kiss on the cheek, the Godfather kiss on the cheek.
But he walked on a beach, too.
Yeah. Well, but...
Sorry, I had...
This whole thing of...
That...
Let alone what our president is doing, which I understand a lot of people are irked by. But the fact that it took our news media, and this includes like every fucking
everyone,
outlet.
You know me. They're all bad.
Not just cable, but like even like Twitter and shit like that.
Everything
for
bad.
Everybody to go like, no, like Israel's right, blah blah blah. And then once those images of whole sections of Gaza looking like Dresden.
Yeah.
Like Kurt Vonnegut writing it out for you. Yeah.
Gone.
And those people going like, we have, and granted, like, maybe one or two of them are lying, but the majority of them, like, families and children going, we have nothing. Like, there's no power, no running water. We have no food because it's all been blown the fuck up.
I have nothing. What you see is what we have.
Some of them going, I don't even know how the fuck I survived this shit. And how am I going to live? And the explanation is, we'll go to Egypt. And then, like, nobody checked in with Egypt on this. Like, nobody was like, hey, by the way, this is happening. Are you willing to accept 500,000, 1 million people just coming into your... Like, this is the fucking problem.
And you need to make that decision in about 36 hours before I nuke everyone.
And then when they go like, no, our thing is, hey, guess what? We'll take all of our resources and ship them in so that these people can live and do it. And then that's when it changes from like, okay, well, you don't have to get out of Gaza. You have to get out of northern Gaza. And then, but this is what I'll say is that
whole moving goalpost.
The groundswell on this is very interesting because, remember, they were supposed to be moving in with troops last week. But the public perception of this is constantly changing.
They didn't. I mean, they did. They sent in a wave.
Yeah.
Skirmish, but it wasn't like full invasion.
No.
Right? Okay.
But they were supposed to be like marching through.
That's what I'm saying. Like
cleansing.
You know what they were doing?
They were supposed to be going blitzkrieg through this shit.
They're going to do Mardi Gras police. Get off the fucking street. Except with machine guns.
Yeah, and
not
rocket launchers and
not threats of
whatever,
a ticket or a night in jail.
But that's where
that's fucking bonkers.
That's where, like, to me. Get
your boy.
That's a George Hahn reference right there. But
you better hurry up.
But the idea being that Americans have to understand that there is a group of people here, whether they identify as Palestinian or whatever ancient organization there, that have their families have been there for generation after generation, and they were accepting of when Israel came in, and now they're being bombed the fuck out, and like that's a humanitarian crisis.
That's damn near war crimes.
Yeah, whether or not you are allied with a country or not. And if we are the United States, we have to stand for. If we are what we live up to the preamble of the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, and all the bullshit that we all...
Everything.
Yeah. That internationally, we cannot... We at least have to check our buddy and go, whoa, bro. We want to take this time to thank you for supporting the Pulpery Podcast. We are available on all podcast platforms, so please follow us and turn on the downloads. You can always delete them later. If audio is not your thing, we are on YouTube. Check out our page and hit the subscribe button, like our episodes, and share with all your friends. Follow us on all the socials for our latest content and additional takes on the latest stories and news. If you need a change for your taste buds, go to thegdsauce.com and change the way you think about the way you eat. From their signature goddamn sauce to their ghost pepper sauce, they have everything you need to rethink condiments. Help support an independent business by getting rid of your same old condiments and boss up with the goddamn sauces.
So much winning. So much winning. So much winning. It's perhaps more winning than anybody's ever seen.
Sure.
What the fuck? We have no government right now because these fucking childish motherfuckers in the House can't get their shit together. And the Democrats keep going back. Hakeem Jeffries. Although, how many times has he lost now? 19 in a row?
He's never lost in his caucus.
I'm just saying, because that's what some people try. I mean, Hakeem lost like 17 in a row.
Yeah.
Why? Okay, first of all,
I think that's the best question. Why? Why are we going through this? Why are we dealing with this bullshit when even before fucking rapist Matt Gaetz initiated this?
Right.
Like, we were already on the cusp of a financial disaster.
Allegedly.
No. I think everybody knows it for now.
Okay,
because
you know what? Fuck it. He's a rapist.
Yeah.
Or a child sex trafficker.
Sure, whatever.
Okay, whatever.
Like,
he's a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The House of Representatives Harvey Weinstein decided that he needed, and again,
Kevin
Spacey. No, let's not forget. Kevin McCarthy agreed to that.
Correct. In January. After 15 votes, he said, if you vote for me, I'll do what you say. Right. And if I don't, you can
I'll give you this one vote dumbassery rule.
You can get rid of me. Not foreseeing that it would come down to the...
Showing, Kevin McCarthy's, fucking dumbass, ego.
California?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, if you really want, if this is a steaks dinner and this is the fucking, Sousson on top.
Yeah.
And that after all that shit of you're never going to get rid of me, blah, blah, blah. Kevin McCarthy has to go on the House floor and petition for Jim Jordan, who is in the same class of fucking people as Matt Gaetz.
On the House floor.
This guy's gonna be good. You're the biggest, and I'm sorry to anybody who's listening. Kevin McCarthy is the biggest fucking whore who's ever fucking, and everybody in the world knows it.
Well, that's my problem. And
I mean, we all suspected
and we're
it.
not talking. We're not just talking MAGA versus ultimate left.
No,
we're
this
talking.
Is
this is just basic politics.
Yeah, this is Game of Thrones. I will do whatever you want to do, and you bend over for it.
Exactly. Yeah. I bent the knee. Instead of kissing the ring, I put your balls in my mouth.
Right.
And then got 86th, and then had to come back and do it again.
And it didn't even work. Jim Jordan lost more votes after that.
Each successive time. Which is the first time that's happened in history. So, you know what? The good news is we are living through firsts in history.
Yeah. No, I mean...
We lived through a pandemic.
It's fascinating. Well, I mean, it's not the first pandemic.
Well, I'm just saying, us, this generation alone, a fascist president, a shitty president.
A wannabe, yeah.
And then now this, first time we have no Speaker of the House for how many weeks? It's going on 6 weeks at this point.
Yeah. Well, not
so
6, I think it's 3. It's we're in our 3rd week. No, 4th week. Yeah.
Thank you. Because they took... Why do they take time? I need to know whatever schedule they have, why the rest of the country doesn't have that schedule. Like, I mean, I get it, like, you're not on the clock or whatever, ever, but you're constantly campaigning and sucking dick and giving hand jobs.
Well, I
and
mean,
sticking
like,
fingers in assholes.
Per the Constitution, they have to meet twice a year. Once a year.
Does it say how long?
No. But it's like, but they, then again, and the Constitution says that they can set their own rules.
Which is why every single session has to go through a rules process.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make fucking sense anyway, because they end up breaking those rules to begin with.
No, actually, so like the parliamentarian in each in the House and the Senate actually hold them fast to what they're doing. Like, and these are people that know the Constitution in and out. So, like, for instance, that's why when they wanted to give Minnie McMinnerson, some control to do something like that. And they were like, but in the end, it was like, if you did that, you would have to become this. And he was like, I'm not doing that. And so that's why we're still in this situation we're in. But, like.
And I love the Constitution and all that, but it was written, like, without this in mind. There's no way a human being.
Well, I mean, in part, though, it's like.
This.
Maybe they did write this with in mind, in that, and the idea of limiting certain houses or certain branches and chambers from doing this. Now, again, it's like, that's the thing, is that we're all looking at it and going, oh God, like, why is this happening? But at the same time, and this is, I was watching it on media clips on Seth Meyers and going,
yes,
as much as some crazy ass Republicans want to sit there and go like, well, the Democrats need to come in and help us. No, they don't. Not in the slightest.
They appeal to the court of public opinion,
right,
as opposed to actually.
Which is like
working towards a solution.
I guarantee you, no Democrat liked Kevin McCarthy.
No.
Now, at the same time, is the Republicans hold the majority, which sorry, you can't get
how many is it?
8 votes. 8
is that
votes.
What it is?
Yeah.
8.
So the fact that you all can't do that, and
reach across the aisle and get.
And I'm sorry that you all
votes.
Don't understand how politics work in the 20th century, which is. If the Democrats can show that your party does not have any cohesiveness at all.
Nothing.
And yet the Democratic Party keeps voting for the same guy every time. Guess what? Maybe in some of those areas, or definitely in purple areas, but also in some of those areas that people are not necessarily Trumpers, but like, hey, we want government to work for us.
Right.
Might actually vote Democrat in the next election.
And then you had Trump saying, don't worry, you don't have to vote.
Yeah.
We got plenty of those, probably more than we've ever had in history.
And then on top of that, being like everybody who pled guilty going, I never knew that person.
They're fucking children. I have a 9-year-old and a 15-year-old that have more reasoning skills than these assholes.
Right.
And Democrats are assholes too. What's his name? Menendez?
Yeah.
This motherfucker's an Egyptian spy. Get him the fuck out of here.
Right, yeah.
Like, we're literally just suggesting that he fucking resign? Like, we kneecap this cocksucker and get him the fuck out of there.
Well, he's been taken off of his committees, but at the same time,
so is Lowen Boebert.
Yeah. But see, that's the problem with what's going on with the House right now is Menendez can't be properly dealt with.
He can't be pushed out, right? Because
there's no speaker.
House.
Yeah.
Just like Santos.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Same thing. And this guy has
now
fucking
again, like outside courts can do whatever they want. Yeah, can do whatever they want with him. But until he's released from the House. Yeah.
Right.
He can't be put in jail, but...
Although technically none of them are working at this point. They're voting for fucking student president.
Well, at this point, no Democrats are working.
Oh, they're just sitting back, like
all the Republicans
are
are trying to... I don't even know what that is.
Like, is it this? Like, what the fuck are they doing?
I mean, at this point, it doesn't seem like there's any resolution.
And we are going head fast into another government shutdown.
Yeah.
And we have World War III on the horizon, a humanitarian fucking crisis in the Middle East, right? Not to mention...
on top of
all
other
the
things.
fascist shit that's going on in our country.
Well, and let's not negate the fact that now we have wildfires in Louisiana.
In a marsh.
Yeah.
Marsh.
In southern Louisiana. Not northern Louisiana. Southern Louisiana.
Tropical.
Yeah. Where there's a river running by it.
Yeah. That's pretty much running the wrong way at this point.
Yeah.
Because the Gulf is pushed. Like, exactly.
But let's get in tit for tat of, random ass people who's going to be good for...
who has a gavel.
Yeah. Who's going to support Donald Trump.
And who's third in line for the president. Everybody should be I'm centrist, left, center, but everybody...
I'm just saying,
in the country
anybody who claims to be a Republican, who is a real Republican, should be furious.
Fucking furious.
Every Democrat is sitting back with popcorn at this point.
But we're that meme of Michael Jackson eating popcorn in the Thriller video. Like, that is the Democratic Party.
Because we saw this coming when McCarthy took 15 votes to get in.
Right.
And
we knew.
But it's like, and that's the thing is,
and it came to the government shutdown is and that's going to happen again.
And the thing is that if we were, say we were in Great Britain, right?
Yeah.
So the idea would be is that you don't have a mass majority, so you have to form a coalition government.
Which is what
they've been bouncing back and forth in Israel, too, about.
Really?
Yeah, no, because Netanyahu was not voted in, but because the previous prime minister could not form a coalition government that functioned. Then they gave it to Netanyahu, who's a conservative. He's,
He wants to do justice. So how many Republicans would it take?
8.
Same thing.
8. Yeah. Same as it got McCarthy voted out. But then the Republicans want to put it on the Democrats of going like, well, you didn't help us. Like, they don't have to fucking
Why
help
do I need to help you?
Yeah. When all it would take is 8 logical Republicans. I'm sorry, not logical. But 8 Republicans who were like, hey,
willing to govern.
Yeah. Then they could put Hakeem Jeffries in as Speaker of the House.
And then go from there, even though they have the majority.
But I'm also at the point of going, like, at this standpoint, Hakeem Jeffries and the Democrats would offer some concessions, right? So, like, they're not going to go...
They're smart enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not going to sit back and go, hey, look, we got these 8 cats. We're good.
Yeah.
No. They're going to say, like adults.
Right. We'll go for mid-range things.
We're going to go right here.
Yeah.
Okay, of course we're going to go more to the left than to the right, but we're going to be in the middle.
Because they want to be able to, in this election season, go, look at what we got done.
Yep.
Because of bipartisanship. And then in those purple states, in those purple districts...
How do Reds win again? Ever?
I don't... Well, because of brainwashing. Because they make it... The following Pulpery podcast is brought to you by The Goddamn Sauce. Go to thegdsauce.com for details to order all the sauces to replace your ordinary condiments. Pulpery is a privately produced podcast by Brock Ryder and Ben Grimmie on social media and photography by Beck Ryder. Original music by the Heisenberg Compensators.